Hey all, Chris here with Chris's Granite Paradise, speaking with you from our house in Atlacomulco, the state of Mexico, about an hour and a half outside of Mexico City. Mexico City is right north of where my little cursor is. You can see it even zoomed out far enough out to see pretty much the whole country of Mexico. You can still make Mexico City out clear as day. I think it's the largest city in the world, depending on who you talk to. It rivals a few other ones, Tokyo and Beijing among them. Anywhere from 22 to 27 million, depending on what statistics you look at. And we're going to zoom in now. Oh, signal's starting to act up. Let's see if we can get this to work. What's really cool about Mexico City and this whole area, it's all volcanic. So you have all these people surrounded by volcanoes, really no source of water. All the water has to be brought in and all the sewage has to be pumped out. It's a city riddled with big problems. It's really an amazing place and how they tackle some of these things. Here are a couple of these cinder cones. So you can see this row of, looks like cinder cones here. Beautiful crater looking one here with farmers' fields inside it. I was just wondering if one of these were to go off. I mean, the city is densely packed. They don't have the laws that we do, for example, in Colorado, where, you know, your house has to have a yard that's a certain size and there has to be green space with parking lots and things like that. No, it's concrete and walls right out to the streets, very narrow sidewalks, very densely packed. Let me show you this other cinder cone. Where are we going? There it is. Here's another one. Beautiful imagery there. That's almost an artistic view with city around the outside, and then the two big craters, and they're farming inside it. I always think these are so cool. And there's probably a dozen of these around the city. You can scroll around for forever and not see them all. And a lot of them, they're mining. But again, that's some pretty dense packing down there. But that's not the subject of this video. I want to show you our mine here in Atlacomulco. So we're going to zoom out, not too far. Go roughly north-northwest. If I could find it by look. Where are we at here? Okay. So let me zoom back out because now I spotted it. So here's Mexico City. This mountain right here is called El Cerro de Joco, the mountain of Jocotitlan. It's 13,000 foot elevation. And right next to it is this little mountain, which I don't know the name of. And right here is the city of Atlacomulco. Now we're going to zoom in. Again, I'm doing this to give you guys some perspective. So right here is the little cinder cone, and it's small. You saw those ones in Mexico City. They're much bigger. But here's our little mine. And so what I showed you guys, or what I'm going to show you in this video, here's our neighborhood right here. And the first portion of the video, I take you down this road into the mine, and we kind of look around down there. And then today I just got done with the section where let's back out here, came up this little road and followed along the top here, and I walked out here. So that's what you're going to be seeing. Let me see if I could turn this around. I know there's a way. Okay, now we're looking at it from the other direction. So here's the highway. Yeah, now I'm lost. I got spun around. Okay. So here's the neighborhood where we live. There's the road down into the mine, which is the first section of the video you're about to watch. And then today, I walked up the top here. Here's the antenna. And I came down here and gave you guys some views. The place I could not get to, and now that I'm looking at from here, I think I see a way I could get to it, but is this little point right here. Actually, no, I'm lying. It's right here. There's a point here where you can look and see this whole section of the mine, and where you can look and see this whole section of the mine. Anyway, just wanted to show you guys some perspective. Actually, we're looking north to south now. Let me turn this around again. So we're looking geographically right. Oh, I'm not having any luck. There we go. Okay, so this is roughly looking towards the north. There's the city of Atlacomulco. You can see the ring highway going around it. I mentioned that in the video. And here's the mine, and here's our house. If we back out a little further, here's the famous Rio Lerma, the Lerma River. Unfortunately, it is too contaminated. You cannot touch it without dying, probably. Me, as much as I love rocks, I've never been able to get close to it. The stench is unbearable. It's really a sad ecological story. But see, there's like 16 million people that live upstream from us in Toluca and the cities that are around it. I did the math one time years ago, back in the 90s. There's like 45 million people that live within a 2-hour driving radius of our house. I think that's what I figured out. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this gives you a little perspective of the area that we are covering. And see you in the next one. So here we are walking down into the mine. The neighborhood where I live is up there, where our house is. This is the old entrance, which they don't use anymore. It's been blocked off for quite a few years now. And I promised you guys last time in the video that I would do two things. And one was try to eventually get you a view from down inside here. And the other was to finish climbing all the way to the top. So I'm going to try to do both of those in this video. It is Sunday, April 15th, I think, 2024. I have not walked down in here probably for 15 years or so. So this is kind of exciting for me. This used to be the part of the mine they operate, but now they're on the other side of the mountain through that sliver over there. It looks like a sliver from here, but it's really a pretty big gap. Anyway, when we get down a little further, I'll show you what I'm hoping to show you is some of the structure and also some of the giant volcanic bombs that are too big for them to use, and they pile them up down here. So we'll check back in with you in a few minutes. Okay, thanks for sticking with me. We're kind of getting down toward the bottom here. It's actually a little bit longer of a walk than I remembered. Not too bad though. I see they're starting to use this as a dumping ground for road base and concrete and everything else. This all didn't used to be here. But here are some of the volcanic bombs I'm hoping to show you guys. While we're here, you can kind of see some of the structure in the sense that this is a cinder cone. It's a cinder cone volcano. The core is kind of up where that antenna is, which I'm going to take a walk up there later. I'm not sure if I'll do it today, but while we're here. And then the layers, you can see they move away from it. If we can get a little closer to that section over there, I remember the layers were really clear there years ago. But so these are some of the bigger chunks. Bear with me and I'll find some interesting ones to show you. So this is a piece of basically volcanic breccia. I guess it's not really ignimbrite because we're actually on the volcanic cone. Rocks falling over there. Don't want to stay here too long. But this is where the cinders were accumulating, piling them up and solidifying. This is actually some pretty solid stuff here, which I don't remember there being much of before. So they probably dug into a different part of the volcano. Anyway, let's see what else we can find. So I thought this would be interesting to show you. This shows the cinder cone nature of this material. This is a part of the old wall that eroded and fell away. It's all cinders. I'm afraid to get any closer because rocks have been falling even just since I've been here. And I don't want to die. So I'm about I don't know, 50 or 60 feet away. I don't want to get any closer. I'm trying to find my way over to that pile of material over there. And I was heading back out of the mine and I saw a little path that goes over to it. So I'm going to try again. But as I was walking back, we have a really good view of the layered structure I was telling you about. So this is roughly level, with the horizon. You can't really see the horizon here, so I will use that as a point of reference. And now you see how the layers, looking from left to right, on the left side they're down low, and they work their way up towards what I told you guys was the core. Like I said, later in the video I intend on adding a section where we go up and see the core. It's a totally different kind of material, basically a solid basalt. But I thought you'd like to see these layers in the cinder cone here. Let me back out, maybe you can see it better. There we go. And on this side of the mine, the material seems to be black. And in the vast majority over here towards the other side, it's red. And I'm not sure why that would be. Over there is the section that they're working now, so I'm hoping not to draw too much attention here. Anyway, let's see if we can get over there. All right, guys, I'm gonna have to apologize on this one. I'm not really finding anything spectacular to show you. Some of these have some flow patterns a little bit, but nothing really video worthy. I'll show you the ones I have at the house. I think those are better than anything I'm finding. I did used to come down here very often, and so I had a lot more time to look around, but I mean, we're in one of the most populated parts of Mexico, and crime is high, and they have found people murdered in here and things of that nature. So I'm a little nervous, I have to admit. So I really don't want to lollygag too much, and I'm starting to hear noises around, so I'm gonna start working my way up out of here. It was a lot of fun years ago when I'd come in here and find those bombs. We call them volcanic bombs. On the road up to the top, assuming that it's still the same, there used to be some nice pieces sticking out of the road cut. Maybe I'll be able to show you some of those. This all seems to be more solid material, and like I said, they're quarrying for road base, and fill is basically what all this is for. Mexico City's about an hour from here, and there are these mines literally everywhere. It's an insatiable appetite for road construction, and this material, I think that's where most of it goes. They've eroded this whole mountain, and like I said, now, and you'll see later in the video, the section on the other side is much bigger. than this. So we'll see you back up at the top. Remember, I'm at 9,000 feet, so I'm out of breath. Thanks for sticking with me. This might be a little longer video, but it's a lot of fun. A lot of history for me. About 2/3 of the way back up to the top. I had mentioned before that roughly in the area of the antenna is where the core is. I showed you guys the layering on this side, where the low end is to the left and it works its way up. And then here's the right side of the volcano. Now that the sun is hitting it just right, you can really see the layering of the layers of cinders. It's just volcanic cinders and not really any ash. It's all pretty coarse, porous material. Mostly small, but there's the occasional big chunks like I was showing you. Anyway, just wanted to give you, the sun's coming right up over the top just now. Just wanted to give you one last view of that so that it makes sense when we're up at the top. Okay, safely back up at the top. Here's the entrance where we just came from. There's the street that goes to my house. So thank you for joining us on this part of the video. I'm not sure if I'll get up there today, but for you guys it'll be right away. We'll be up at the top. This is beautiful Atlacomulco in the Mexican state of Mexico. Quite close to Mexico City. I said earlier that it's Sunday, April 15th, but I think it's the 14th. I know we came on Friday the 12th, so yeah, so today is only the 14th. Alrighty, we'll see you in a bit. Well, good morning. I'm back with you again. It is Tuesday, April 16th, just a few days ago. I took you guys down into the mine where I'm looking right now. You can see the piles and stuff down there. It was a little disappointing compared to the cool rocks and how clean it was before when they were still working it. Now it's basically full of trash. So it wasn't quite as exciting as I thought it would be, but it was cool. And now I'm gonna try to take you guys up to a little ways past the antenna there. I want to take you out onto the core. I just remember there the chimney being, I guess that's what it would be called, being fairly visible. So we're going to take a walk up. This spot here I think is where I brought you in the first video I did back in October, I think it was. This is where we ended up. So now we're gonna head on up. So bear with me, and hopefully we'll have a good time. This is the last stretch of paved street here in our neighborhood. House is right over there, and I'll be right back. Okay, I made it through the gauntlet of the neighborhood dogs. I didn't want to film because there were people out. But if you're ever in Mexico and you see a lot of dogs, the general rule is if you walk in the street, you're fine. The sidewalks are theirs. And anyway, here's the beautiful view of the town. Again, this is Atlacomulco in the state of Mexico, and I can't see it from here. I was hoping we could see the house from here. Well, we'll keep walking up this hill a little bit. Here you can really see in the wall the layered structure of the cinder cone. Follow those layers upwards, if you can imagine, before this was mined away. And you see those larger, more solid looking blocks. That's part of the core. And then you can't really see it from here, but if you were to look at the layers on the other side, which we did from down below, they point in the opposite direction, up towards the core. So very interesting. This is like a shelf here, interesting. This was probably the bottom of the mine at one point, maybe back in the 1950s or something. And here's a view of the town. Beautiful Atlacomulco. It's really a nice city. My wife was telling me last night that I should put videos of the market and like we went out to eat in El Centro last night and the taco stands. It's just a lot of fun. I just don't know. I should probably stay kind of on course with the channel. I may change my mind in the future. I know there are plenty of other people that upload content of that nature. Let me know what you think in the comments. So the road turns here. That's where we came from. It kind of switch backs up the hill here a little bit. So I'll see you up at the top. Alrighty, I'm out of breath. If it's 9,000 feet down below, I'm sure we're at 10,000 feet or so up here, maybe more. It's a pretty good climb. Our house is in that little neighborhood right there. It's kind of near that taller building. And then yesterday or Sunday, we walked along the highway there and down into the mine. So up here behind me is the antenna that we were seeing from down below. I don't know if it's a cell phone tower. Looks like it's a little bit of everything. But the core is down there. I remember I was able to get out to it. I'm going to see if I still can. We'll see you in a few minutes. All right, I made it down the little hill. You can see this is what we were looking at from across the way. I believe that over there is actually more part of the core than what I'm standing on. So I'm gonna try. I think there's a way I can go back the way I just came and make my way up to where those trees are, and then from there you have a really good view of most of the mine, if I remember correctly. Pretty noisy up here. That highway over there is one of the main thoroughfares through the area. It's actually a ring that goes around the city, and it vibrates our windows all night. We're one street away from it, and there's buildings in between, but still it shakes the ground. It's crazy. And anyway, this is a lot of fun. This is kind of refreshing. I was a little nervous about coming up here, just because, like I mentioned the other day, the crime is through the roof. They say that there's more crime during this president's term than any other period in Mexican history. I don't know how true that is, but kidnapping and things like that. But my ultimate trust is in the Lord. And I also know that kidnappers probably aren't up here looking for who to kidnap. So I was okay coming up here. See you in a bit. I'm going to try to make my way up to the top there. Okay, so this is looking much more like I remember, quote unquote, the core being. It's this grayer, much more solid rock. Too hard for them to quarry for what they wanted it for. It wasn't like dynamite mining. I mean, this is just scrapers and bulldozers and machinery of that nature. And I was hoping to show you guys the machinery, but I found out, yeah, this is definitely the core. But I found out that the mine is extinct. The other side, I looked on the satellite view and confirmed it's a parking lot now. Not of like that people use, but just old trailers and I don't know, whatever. It looked like a lot of older stuff, or stuff that isn't moved very often, let me put it that way. So let's see if we can get to the edge, because I remember some amazing views from up here. Sorry, I'm so out of breath. The elevation is killing me. And I'm older now. Okay, so there's the neighborhood, the highway. I talked with you guys as we walked up that little road there in the last video. And then that little patch, that little pull off right there is where we started this video. This section that I'm doing right now of going up to the top. And that little stretch of neighborhood up there, it is crazy with the dogs. I love the dogs. There's so many dogs. But like I said, you gotta walk in the middle of the street. Anyway, let's see if we can get some other views. Okay, here's a nice view looking the opposite direction from near the top here. You can see, I told you that highway is a circuit. It goes all the way around the city here. You can tell where it makes the turn. Beautiful city. I have to think about what my wife suggested about doing some other content. Then way off in that direction is another gigantic city called Toluca, and then right next to that is Mexico City. Of course, you can't see it from here, but it's only about an hour away. Well, I had to put the camera down for about 10 minutes trying to find a way right out to the edge, but there's way too much scrub. As it is, I had to be on my hands and knees for a little bit almost. This is probably about as good as it's gonna get for reasons of safety. There's another beautiful view of La 2 de Abril. Saludos desde Atlacomulco, el Estado de Mexico. I think one place there would be a really cool view of the mine, which could be what I'm remembering, is down on that little shelf right there, right in the center of the screen. I don't know that I could find a way down there. I say down there, but it's still way up. We're up here quite a ways. I just remember a view where I could look to the right and see this section of the mine and look to the left and see the other section, but I have a feeling that's where it was from. But that might have to wait for yet another day. So I think the memory on my phone is about out. Anyway, thank you for joining me. If I find anything interesting on the way out, I may add another section, but I think other than that, that's it. Look forward to you subscribing, liking, sharing. Y si hablas español, mucho afecto, mucho cariño desde Atlacomulco.